Yo, welcome in fellas. So today I'm bringing you a build guide and showcase for my Singer Barbarian that I've been using on stream for the last few days. I get asked a ton of questions about it. People are very interested. They want to see exactly how I got it set up and what type of gear I'm using and all that good kind of stuff. So today in this video, that's what I'm going over. I'm going to go with the stats, the skill tree, the gear, and at the end I'm going to kind of talk about exactly where and when, why, and the places you would want to use this and the places you would not want to use this. I'm going to kind of talk about that while I go over the example gameplay. Now let's go ahead and jump right into the stats first. Now stats, super simple up at the top, enough strength and dex to wear whatever gear you need. And then once you move down to vitality and energy, this is actually different than you do for most builds. For this particular one and what I use this for, I split the points not quite 50-50, but pretty close between vitality and energy. It actually uses a ton of energy for casting the war cry that you do to deal out your damage. So that's why I decided to split it that way. You could swap around some gear, lose a bunch of magic find in order to get your mana and keep it up that way. But I have no survivability problems when I'm using this build the way that I do use it. So I just go ahead and split the points here so I can get that little bit extra magic find. You see over here, resistances are capped right out, and actually they're way higher than that. It's almost 200 total. So even if you get convicted a little small conviction, or you're still going to be a-okay. Now we're going to go and take a look at the advanced stat page right off the bat here. Why not? So you see we have just over 500 magic find. And like I said, if you wanted to, you could get that up even higher. But in my experience, really with the diminishing return curve on finding uniques here in Diablo 2 Resurrected, 500 is more than enough magic find. Probably even a little bit more than you actually need, but I guess more doesn't really hurt that much as long as it's not hurting your kill speed. Down here you can see we have 108 faster cast rate. The 105 breakpoint is what we're getting to. The next one's all the way up at 200, which you could get to, but you have to sacrifice so much to get to 200. I feel like it's not exactly worth it. You have to sacrifice like 8 all skills and a bunch of all other stuff. So in my experience, it's just really not going to be worth it. If you think it is worth it, I'm actually going to try to remember here. I'm going to link to a 200 FCR Singer Barb build that I did in the past, so you can see exactly how you would set that up and how you could throw it together. Along with it has example gameplay of exactly how good that works or not. So you can check that one out if you want to jump into the 200 FCR version of this. Let's go ahead and take a look at the skill tree first off and look at the combat mastery skills first after I get out of the way. And you can see there's absolutely nothing over here. You don't do anything with any of these, so don't worry about it. Combat masteries, you don't attack with any weapons, so you don't need any of your weapons masteries. Just 1 point into increased stamina, iron skin, increased speed, and natural resistance. They're all just 1 point wonders, just like on every other barbarian build. Coming over to war cries, obviously this is where all of your skills are pretty much going. Now all the skills down the left side of the skill tree are capped out. We got howl, we've got taunt, we've got battle cry, and you don't use any of these really. You actually just use war cry, which is capped out down here. This is your main damage dealer. It doesn't look like a lot of damage, and it kind of sort of in a way isn't, but the way that you use this build, you don't really need as much damage. Now down the middle here, you have to do shout and battle orders in order to get down to war cry. So you're going to go ahead and use battle orders anyways, and you might as well put 1 more point into battle command. So battle command and battle orders are definitely some shouts that you are using. Now over onto the find item and find potion. Now generally I'll put points into find item until I don't get a full percentage per point. At a certain level, once you put 1 point into find item, you actually don't even get 1%. It takes 2 points in order to get you to the next percentage on find item, like chance to find an item. So I put 1 extra point here into find item because of all my plus skills I already had. That was all it took. And the next point is said next level, I wouldn't get another percentage. So after that, I go ahead and put the remaining points into find potion. You could just go ahead and dump all your points into find potion if you have enough plus skills. And that way you wouldn't even have to like take a second thought about it because you'll get 1% either way. But that's just the way I always do it right there. And yeah, that skill tree is pretty basic, pretty simple. Now taking a look at the gear, I'm going to try to go over some examples while still going quick. I don't want the video to be 75 minutes talking about every single gear piece you could possibly use. But for weapons, we got dual Heart of the Oaks, 40 FCR on there, bunch of all res and stuff like that. Whiz spikes and suicide branches are another great option here. They have 50 faster cast rate, and then with that you come over to the caster amulet. Every caster amulet gets 5 FCR on it, so as long as you want to have one with 2 to barb skills, You'll have 5 FCR or more every single time. So if you have whiz spikes or suicide branches, that gets you to the 105 breakpoint. The next higher one's 200, like I mentioned before. It's kind of not a great option to go up to the 200. It can be fine, I guess, but sticking at the 105 is actually the best option in my opinion. That way you have the best balance of survivability and plus skills and cast rate and all that good stuff. Now, right here we have 88, right? So we still need another 20 to get over the 105. Jump down to Arachnid's Mesh. 20 cast rate there, the skill, a little bit of mana. So yeah, Arachnid's Mesh, there's our 105 between those pieces right there. Now, for the other pieces on this character, we've got the Harlequin's Crest for obvious reasons. We've got the Enigma for obvious reasons. If this stuff is new to you, go ahead and pause it and look at it. You know, this one obviously gives you teleport. This one, a bunch of life, mana, damage reduction skills. Shaco is a classic here in this particular game. Now, on the gloves, rings, and boots, I put all the Magic Find stuff. We've got Chance Guards, we've got Nagels, and we have War Traps. Now, if you didn't want to put your points into over here, into your energy, you could go ahead and put things like Frostburns, SOJs, and or Silk Weaves to get mana over here. That's up to you. If you know what they are, you can go ahead and look up those particular items. They're all stuff that'll add energy to, or add mana or energy to your character, or a way to get mana back from killing monsters. But I decided to go with Magic Find, splitting the points. Like I said, what I use it for, no survivability issues of any kind. Now, there's a few different ways you could go with the charms too. I kind of have a split between a few War Cries, then a bunch of Magic Find charms down here. You could go all War Cry skillers. You could go all Magic Find small charms if you wanted to. It's all up to you. It's kind of a little thing here for me, particular on single player. These are the only 3 War Cry skillers I have found in like a year and a half of playing on single player. Crazy enough, luck or unluck of the draw, however you want to look at it. Now, also, we have a Torch and an Annie, and we have a Geed's Fortune. Now, you notice I do not have a Sunder Charm down in here. Where I use this, there's no physical immunes. There aren't like a crazy lot of physical immunes. Every once in a while, let's say you're running Pindle or Thresh Shocket, they could randomly spawn, or a champion could randomly spawn immune to physical, I suppose. But it doesn't really happen that often, and the negative to having a Sunder Charm as opposed to how much it really helps you out isn't that great, because you can't get minus enemy physical resistance. Like, you can't throw in a physical facet, you know, like you can with other builds. Or there's not like the equivalent of like a Crescent Moon or casters, you know, for the physical stuff. So Thunder Charms for the physical, I just generally steer clear of them, to be perfectly honest. Now, jumping over to the Mercenaries gear, I go with the Might Mercenary. While not actually really helping you, it helps out your Mercenary, kill stuff faster, so I go with that. You do not want to use the cold Mercenary, excuse me, because then the bodies will shatter. You won't be able to have anything to use Find Item on. You could, if you wanted to, if your mana was fine in a different way, you could go with the X5 Mercenary if you really wanted to, if you wanted to use something a little different, a little new, a little fresh. Now, I have the Insight over here to go ahead and keep my energy, keep my mana up, so I don't run out. I can keep casting. If you wanted to have a way to deal with those physical immunes, Reaper's Toll is an option over here. I almost never go that route. Personally, I just don't farm places that have physical immunes, so that's what I go ahead and do. Now here I got the Talos Mask and the Treachery. Obviously, Andaro's Visage and Fortitude, probably the best in slot option over here, but with this budget option, I just rock this particular build, generally usually on players 1 difficulty, and it's perfectly fine for me. Now we'll go ahead and head out to some example gameplay, and we're hopping to just players 1 pits. A lot of times this is called a pit singer because this is an absolute classic spot to go and hunt some of the rarest uniques in the entire game. So what you generally do is target just the champion. And the thing is, this has an area of effect. So unlike the Pit Zerker, you know, you use the Berserk skill on the Barbarian, you would howl away all the other monsters and then only kill the 1 champion. But with this build, because it has the area of effect, it actually kills all the other monsters around as well. So it actually gives you a little bit of an increased chance to find bases and runes and things along those lines when you're rocking in the pits. On top of that, one of the reasons I like it so much too, and this might be just my own bias and partiality, I can actually read chat very easy while I'm streaming, while I'm rocking this character, because I don't have to aim. I can look over like this, chow, 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 and boom, everything dropped dead. I don't have to actually look where I'm swinging, so it is incredibly easy. On top of that, obviously, Find Item. If you're out magic finding in the game, Find Item is probably one of the most OP skills in the entire game, giving you that second chance of finding an item. So essentially giving you like 70% faster time that it takes you to find all these crazy rare uniques, especially the stuff that I'm searching for. So I'll go ahead and finish clearing up the pits here. You don't need to see every single kill. And we'll move on to the next area I'd like to show you to use this build in. Now you see over there, I flipped it to players 3 difficulty just to kind of show you. Generally, I only use this on players 1, like it's like a pit singer or maybe going out to Trav or something like that. You can flip it to players 3 though, or even go a little bit higher and do some other stuff. But you see, it's not exactly a hammered in or anything along those lines. It definitely does work. And here's one of those random champions immune to physical. So what I would do, just go ahead and skip it. I particularly, it doesn't really happen that often you come across these physical immunes like that. So just go ahead and skip those. Head down to Shank the Overseer down here and go ahead and scream him down. Give him that death metal scream of doom. And down he goes. Another place this is very commonly used for is actually Pindle. Because Pindle's always in the same spot. Obviously you can run to him super quick and go ahead and chop him out. We'll leave it on players 3 once again. Running Pindle, you can get away with running Pindle on players 1 because these super uniques like Pindle or Thresh Socket, stuff like that, they drop the same number of items every time no matter the players count. The higher players count though will give the minions around Pindle right here a better chance of dropping items. Now if you're running players 1 on Pindle or something, there's always another spot you could go hit too that I love hitting, and that's coming out here to Thresh Socket, because just like Pindle, he will drop the same number of items on players 1 as players 8, as players 5, as players 6. But there is no minions around Thresh Socket, and you can use the find item skill. That time was one of the rare times that an extra item does not drop. But never forget to run Thresh Socket, fellas. And I actually set this to players 8 now, and let's head out to the Chaos Sanctuary. And this is more for an example of what I generally would not use this build for. Now this is players 8 difficulty, and you'll see why, while this does work, this is not max efficiency, fellas. It is really incredibly slow, and that's the thing. This really isn't necessarily a high players count, high rune hunter type of deal. This is more of like target farming individual specific areas that you want to farm to either find high runes, like, you know, low players count Trav, or you know, pits and stuff like that. The thing is with this find item skill, I know it's going to be a little bit behind my head here, but find item, the percent chance, you see it's 67%. That has nothing to do with the players count. So even players 1, the find item skill has the same chance of finding items. You have the same chance of getting a burr rune when you use find item on a monster on players 1 as you do on players 7. So that's why this skill is so amazing. And since it popped up as terrorized, let's go ahead and hit the terror zone. We got this is Stony Tombs, and this is players 3 difficulty. So not players 1, but I went with players 3 just to kind of show how this would work. Man, this lightning damage hit me a ton, even though I have all those capped out resistances. But there you can see it definitely works. But yeah, once again, I just mentioned terror zones, because they're going to be such high level. This is a 93 barbarian, so it's a level 95 terror zone. It's not optimal. We'll call it that. It's not optimal, but it definitely does work, and you can use it all over the place. So that is the modern day Singer Barb. But fellas, before you go, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe up if you're new to the channel, so you never miss any of the future Diablo 2 videos or me streaming right here on this channel. Peace out, fellas, and don't forget, keep slaying.